You ever run into this issue where you're playing with your Joy-Cons on your Nintendo Switch and you notice that things aren't moving quite right? It may be the case that your controller could be suffering from stick drift, which is an infamous issue that has plagued the Switch for years at this point. And in my opinion has deteriorated the value of the Joy-Con just a little bit. I enjoy my Joy-Cons, but I much prefer the Pro Controller for a variety of reasons, one of which being with how comfortable and ergonomic they are, but also the sturdiness of the controller and the lesser likelihood of it experiencing stick drift. So I just haven't been a fan of collecting all these different Joy-Cons just to see them break down rather quick. So it's gotten me thinking about the future of the Joy-Con and how Nintendo could go about making a better one for potentially a revision or even the Switch 2. Which is why I was very excited to partner with QRD for this particular video. They sent over the QRD Stellar T3 wireless joypad for Nintendo Switch. And I gotta tell you, this controller is a pretty good one, and I think it does have quite a few implications for the future of the Joy-Con, and that's what I would like to talk about today. Welcome everyone, this is Andre's Restart, and yes, today we are talking about this QRD Stellar T3 wireless joypad controller. There's a lot of interesting features about this controller, and the link to this controller will be in the description below, along with a code for a special discount. But before going forward, let me point out that we are aiming to reach 50,000 subscribers, so if you do enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell, and enjoy the ride as we talk about Nintendo every day. So I was interested to see how the control sticks for the Stellar T3 would compare to, say, a Pro Controller or the Joy-Cons, given that they have these Hall effect control sticks. They didn't feel lesser in any way, shape, or form to the sticks we have on the Joy-Cons or the Pro Controller. If anything, it might have felt a little bit better. They felt precise, they felt smooth, and I'm also resting assured that they won't be experiencing any drift. And it does get me thinking about what Nintendo may do in the future for the Joy-Cons. We did see that Nintendo filed a patent for a special magnetic joystick that includes some level of a smart fluid that appears to be one of Nintendo's possible answers for the stick drift issue. So I would say it's pretty likely that at some point or another we're going to see improved control sticks from official Nintendo controllers. But with the Stellar T3, I feel like I'm kind of getting this next-gen experience already, at least from the perspective of the Joy-Con. A big issue I've had with the Joy-Cons for years is just how uncomfortable they are when you're holding the Switch in portable mode for extended periods of time. My hands tend to go numb a little bit. I am not exaggerating, so I don't play in portable mode as much as I would like to, at least not with the Joy-Cons in this way. But when I plug the Stellar T3 Joy-Cons into the Switch itself, it feels far more comfortable and I can play it for much longer durations. Between the texture on the back and the overall shape and size of the grips, I found it to be quite ergonomic, much better than the Joy-Cons. But the face and shoulder buttons, along with the clickable sticks, feel pretty satisfying as well. They are a bit clicky, so there is a little bit of an auditory noise there, but it feels quite satisfying in my opinion. And during gameplay I wouldn't say it's so noticeable, but some people might actually appreciate being able to hear that auditory click. There's something that's just extra satisfying about it. But something else I really appreciated about this controller is the colors, how it can glow. And there are 7 different colors that you can pick from, and I mixed and matched as you can see in some of the footage I'm putting here, and it just looks darn cool. But not just on my Switch in portable mode, or not as Joy-Cons, but also in the grip as well. And when it's in this grip, it feels pretty much like your typical Pro Controller. And the official Nintendo Switch Pro Controller is one of my favorite controllers ever. This QRD controller not only gives me the experience of having Joy-Cons and be able to enjoy that co-op play with those SL and SR buttons for things like Mario Party and such, but when in the grips, it feels like a proper Pro Controller. Something I personally would never do with the Joy-Cons is use them while playing Smash Brothers. But with this controller, I felt very comfortable using while playing Smash Brothers. It worked beautifully, and I never felt like I was pushing the controller too much or I was going to put it through some wear and tear as I do with the Joy-Cons. This controller is both sturdy, comfortable, and responsive. There are some other perks of this controller that I felt were worthy of note. This controller can work on multiple platforms and not just a Switch, so you can play this on iOS, Android, and your PC. It still has strong motion controls, so you can play even games like Skyward Sword, and the remote feature has varying intensities as well. It may not be as nuanced as the HD Rumble, but for an additional controller, I'd say it feels pretty good compared to just your typical wireless controller that doesn't have these features. In terms of length of battery, the use time is about 6.5 hours. Of course, you can charge them a variety of ways by plugging them in with a USB-C cable or just putting it into your Switch as you would any Joy-Con, and it works perfectly fine that way. And overall, I find myself having found a controller that feels pretty darn good, and it does get me thinking about the future of the Joy-Con. I really would like to see something where I don't have to worry about stick drift, where I can enjoy a more comfortable grip, and something that feels a bit meaty, so it could even work well when you're using single Joy-Con mode to play some of those cooperative games right out of the box, as initially touted by Nintendo. So I would say QRD's Stellar T3 wireless joypad controller is definitely worth it. It's one of the best controllers I've played for the Switch. It feels really comfortable and it looks pretty darn cool too. So check it out, the link's in the description below, and make sure to use the discount code as well. This is Andre's Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.